Welcome to Prince Shorthand House, exercise number 25, legal progressive shorthand, March 2018. 100 words a minute. Ready? Start. Cable television was a new experience for the Indian viewers who overnight had access to a large number of foreign channels carrying different kinds of forms of entertainment and information. While it is correct that some of the channels available on cable television network were Indianized in content, there was an apprehension and perhaps justified that the new trend and upsurge may make Doordarshan and its regional channels extinct, resulting in dissemination of awareness on national issues. This is evident from the report of the Standing Committee to whom the Cable TV Network Regulation Bill 1993 was referred to. This is why Section 8 of the Cable Act 1995 was enacted, namely to obligate cable TV operators to carry news and information concerning the developments of the country, government policies, and other such related matters, even to all such households who may have availed of cable services. In fact, transmission of Doordarshan channels by cable operators is always a complementary part of any bouquet of services that a cable operator may make available to a consumer. On the other hand, the Sports Act 2007, which is a later enactment, had altogether a different object for its enactment, namely to provide access to the largest number of listeners and viewers on a free to air basis of supporting events of national importance through mandatory sharing of sports broadcasting signals with Prasar Bharati and for matters connected therewith or incidental thereto. Section 3 of the Sports Act 2007 is a significant provision to further the objective behind the enactment of the Sports Act 2007. Though much argument has been advanced as to whether Section 3 of the Sports Act 2007 is expropriatory in nature, we have no hesitation in holding the said provision of the Act to be of such a nature, inasmuch as it curtails or abridges the rights of a content rights owner or holder and television or radio broadcasting service provider as may be. Full stop. Sharing of revenue between the content rights owner or holder and the Prasar Bharati envisaged by Section 3, subsection 2 of the Sports Act 2007 would hardly redeem the situation to take the Sports Act 2007 out of the category of expropriatory legislation. Section 3 of the Sports Act 2007 therefore has to be interpreted very strictly right now. Not only we do not find in the provisions of Section 3 of the Sports Act 2007 any recognition of the requirement stipulated in Section 8 of the Cable Act 1995, the plain language of the said provision, that is Section 3 of the Sports Act 2007, makes it clear that the obligation to share cost on the content rights owner or holder etc. with Prasar Bharati is to enable the Prasar Bharati to transmit the same on its terrestrial and DTH networks. If the legislative intent was to allow Section 3 of the Supports Act 2007 not to operate on its own language but to be controlled by Section 8 of the Cable Act 1995, there would have been some manifestation of such intent either in Section 3 of the Sports Act 2007 or in Section 8 of the Cable Act 1995. In the absence of any such legislative intent, it will only be correct to hold that Section 3 of the Supports Act 2007 operates on its own without being controlled by any of the conditions or stipulations contained in Section 8 of the Cable Act 1995. Any other view may have the effect of introducing a fragility in Section 8 of the Cable Act, a consequence that must surely be avoided. Section 8 of the Cable Act imposes an obligation on the cable operators to carry transmit such Doordarshan channels or the channels operated by or on behalf of Parliament as may be notified in the official gazette. The legislature has not specified any particular channel which must be mandatorily carried by cable operators. The task has been left to the central government. It will therefore be not wrong to understand the obligation cast on cable operators to transmit the DD1 channel and the transmission of live feed of major sports events of national importance on the said channel by the Doordarshan as a matter of mere coincidence instead of a legislative mandate. Hypothetically, it is always open to the central government to denotify DD1 from the notified channels in the notification under Section 8 of the Cable Act. Surely, the effect and operation of Section 3 of the Supports Act cannot be left to be decided on the basis of the discretion of the central government to include and subsequently exclude or not to include at all the DD1 channel in a notification to be published under Section 8 does not even come under the operation of a cable operator as such. Stop.